Welcome back to Anarcho Markets, where we explore ideas of freedom, decentralized finance, and free markets. Today, as we look at the 2024 US election, let's consider how a big state, high taxes, and restricted markets impact our everyday lives, and whether either candidate will truly advance the ideals of freedom. Before diving into the specifics of each candidate's plans, it's essential to understand what we will analyze in this video and the broader impact of government control on our daily lives. A large state often affects far more than just economic freedom. High taxes reduce individuals' control over their earnings, forcing them to fund government agendas that might not align with their values. Beyond taxes, government regulations can stifle innovation and entrepreneurship. Bureaucracy often slows down business operations, making it harder for small businesses to thrive. Additionally, state control extends into personal privacy. Surveillance programs and data collection by the government can infringe on individual freedoms, raising concerns about privacy and autonomy in the digital age. The balance between freedom and state control is a critical issue in the upcoming election, influencing both economic and personal liberties. Understanding these dynamics is crucial. The choices made at the ballot box will shape the future of freedom and state control in America. Last but not least, it is important to say that when laws extend beyond protecting individual rights, as Bastiat argues in his book called The Law, they often intrude into personal choices and restrict self-determination, making individuals reliant on the state rather than encouraging them to take responsibility for their own lives. First, let's talk taxes. Both Trump and Kamala Harris have laid out starkly different plans. Trump is pushing for tax cuts aimed at individuals and corporations. He plans to reduce income taxes for middle-income earners and maintain his 2017 corporate tax cuts, which dropped rates to 21%. While Trump plans to reduce income taxes for middle-income earners and maintain previous tax cuts, Harris, on the other hand, wants to increase the corporate tax rate to 28% and hike capital gains taxes for higher incomes. Trump's tax cuts aim to stimulate economic growth through private enterprise investment. However, his heavy reliance on tariffs complicates this picture. His proposed across-the-board 10 to 20% tariff could lead to higher consumer prices and ultimately shrink economic output if trading partners retaliate. Harris proposes tax increases to fund expanded social programs, including subsidies for education and health. Her policies prioritize wealth redistribution over tax cuts, which could mean less individual economic freedom in the short term, as high tax rates can stifle business innovation and competition, potentially moving us further from a market-driven economy. Trump has vocalized his intention to shrink the federal bureaucracy, advocating for more state-level power and less federal interference in daily economic affairs. This move could decentralize authority, theoretically closer to Bastiat's ideals. Harris's platform, meanwhile, advocates for an expanded role of government in social programs, health, and infrastructure. While these efforts aim at increasing access and equality, they also mean an increased federal footprint in the economy. In conclusion, in The Law, Frederick Bastiat argues that law's primary purpose is to protect individual rights, especially property rights, without enforcing social outcomes. Comparing this idea to today's candidates, Trump's policies, despite their imperfections, lean slightly more toward protecting economic freedoms through lower taxes and reduced regulation. Trump's policy direction may seem closer to these ideals, but with reservations due to his use of tariffs. Harris, while aiming to address inequality, advocates for more state intervention in markets. As always, neither candidate perfectly aligns with a vision of free markets or limited government. This election, like so many others, is a choice between imperfect options. Here at Anarcho Markets, we'll continue exploring how to advance true freedom beyond politics. Thanks for watching, and remember, true freedom starts with informed decisions.